Welcome back to the Final 24 Hours channel, the channel that takes you deep inside the last day on Earth of the world's most famous and infamous figures. We uncover what really happened in their final 24 hours alive. Today's video will be the final 24 hours in the life of Marvin Gaye. He was the voice of love and the sound of conscience. Marvin Gaye, the man who gave us What's Going On, Let's Get It On, and Sexual Healing. A genius whose music united millions, but whose life was torn apart by inner demons, fame, and family. His story ends not on stage but in his own father's arms, in tragedy. This is the final 24 hours of Marvin Gaye. Early morning sunlight over the Hollywood Hills. Marvin Gaye's house on Gramercy Place. It's Saturday morning. Marvin Gaye wakes up in the same house where he grew up with his parents. After years of fame, touring, and isolation, he's come home, but peace is nowhere to be found. Marvin sits in his bedroom, surrounded by gold records, old photos, and unopened fan mail. He's 44 years old, weary, paranoid, and fragile. He's been battling depression and cocaine addiction. Friends say he's convinced people are out to kill him. To escape the spotlight, he sees move back in with his parents. But his father, Reverend Marvin Gaye Sr., is a strict preacher who never approved of his son's music or lifestyle. The clock strikes noon. Marvin's parents argue loudly in the kitchen about misplaced insurance papers. The tension in the house has been boiling for weeks. Marvin and his father clash constantly about religion, money, and control. Marvin often steps in to protect his mother, Alberta, from his father's temper. Neighbors later said they heard shouting all afternoon, the kind of arguments that make you feel something terrible is coming. That evening, Marvin talks with his mother. He tells her he's tired of the pressure, the fame, the pain. He hugs his mother tightly, tears in his eyes. He tells her mother, "I put myself in God's hands." It will be one of the last things he ever says to her. Easter Sunday morning. Las 10 a.m. Marvin sits quietly in his room, wearing a maroon robe. That's the day before his 45th birthday. Outside, the world celebrates Easter. Inside, the Gaye home is tense again. His parents start arguing downstairs at the same topic, a missing insurance policy. Marvin can't take it anymore. He storms out of his room shouting, "Stop arguing with my mother." He shoves his father, striking him several times. A glass shatters. Alberta screams for them to stop. Minutes later, the house goes quiet, but only for a moment. At 12:38 p.m., Marvin Gaye Sr. gets his gun, then enters his son's room. Without a word, he raises the gun and fires. Marvin falls to the floor. His mother rushes in, screaming. The first bullet pierces his heart. The second hits his shoulder. He collapses at his mother's feet, whispering, "Mother, I've got what I wanted. I couldn't do it myself, so I made him do it." Police cars rush to the scene. Neighbors gather outside, stunned. Marvin is rushed to California Hospital Medical Center, less than a mile away. Doctors and nurses crowd around the stretcher. Despite every effort, the damage is too severe. At 1:01 p.m., Marvin Gaye is pronounced dead one day before his 45th birthday. His mother weeps as police lead his father away in handcuffs. The man who sang about peace and love died in an act of violence at the hands of his own father. News reports flood in. Marvin Gaye shot dead by his father. Fans gather outside his home, lighting candles, singing his songs in tears. The world is stunned. How could one of the most soulful voices of all time, the man who asked what's going on, leave us like this? Even in death, Marvin Gaye remained what he'd always been, the heartbeat of a generation. Marvin Gaye's life was a battle between heaven and heartbreak, between the church that raised him and the world that adored him. Marvin Pence Gaye Jr., April 2nd, 1939, April 1st, 1984. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you will be instantly notified of new videos. See you on the next one.